In today's episode of the Motorhome Matt Podcast,
we're back in Birmingham for the Caravan, Camping and Motorhome Show 2025.
And we answer your questions on getting finance without being a homeowner, adding a diesel heater and getting your motorhome floor templated. What does that mean?
Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Motorhome Matt Podcast. I'm Keith Gooden.
And I'm Motorhome Matt.
Industry insights and expert advice for the world of motorhomes, caravans and campervans, and brought to you by thatleisureShop.com and sponsored by Ripe.
Now remember to follow on your favourite podcast app. And if you're watching on YouTube, please hit subscribe and the little bell. Brought to you by arabasecreative.co.uk.
We've got a very busy day ahead of us here, Matt, because you have been wandering around the Caravan, Camping and Motorhome Show 2025 and meeting the movers and shakers, the buyers and sellers.
Let's go. Oh, hi. I didn't see it there. Welcome back. It's Motorhome Matt here, and we are back in Birmingham for the Caravan, Camping and Motorhome Show 2025. We are excited to be here. So join me as we wander around this show with something for everyone, whatever age. We hope to find something new, something exciting, and hopefully some innovation. See you later. It's always a great pleasure to welcome ACSI to this show, all the way from the Netherlands, and I'm delighted to be joined by Jeanette. Now, you've launched something new as ACSI, but before we get to that, just explain what ACSI is.
I will to you. ACSI is one of the biggest camping guides organization in the Netherlands, or in Europe, not in the Netherlands. We are staying in the Netherlands, that's our office. But we are a very big camping guide organization with a lot of countries, campsites in 25 countries in the whole of Europe. I think more than 10,000 campsites. And we launched a new product that is the Camping Card Digital. Before there was always a camping card in physical shape, but since 2024 there's also a digital version. And with this version the campers get more access easier to our camping card. And I don't know if you know what the camping card is.
I do, yeah. I've had one myself for some time. So you've got the book, which is dead handy in the glove box.
Yes.
The camping card,
yes,
where you can show it to the campsite that accept an ACSI card. But now you've got the digital app as well, but you're keeping the book.
Yeah, we're still keeping the book because a lot of people like the book. They want to keep a hand-on-hand book in their camper. But for the more, for the younger people or the older ones that like to go more digital, we have launched the app. In the app is the same campsites as the book, only it's on your phone now, so it's much easier.
Yeah, and how much is the app?
The app costs €17.95. And for that you get the camping card digital and you get all the campsites in the app. So then you can go to all campsites. And with the camping card you can go in the low season to the campsites. You get fixed rates. And they are much cheaper than the normal rates. And for that you get a pitch, you get 2 adults and all sorts of that things. So it's a very good bargain, I think.
It's an absolute bargain. It's £15 for the app.
Yeah, right.
Now, in my experience, you save that in 2 nights.
Yeah, we say normally you save it in 4 nights, but it depends on the rates of the campsite in the low season, because the fixed rates we use are based on the low rate season rates from the campsites. So that's the way we charge it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you earned it very quickly back. Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. Now, we had a question from a listener, which I'm going to pose you, if I may. Hugh Jones in Cardiff said, "Hi Matt, really love your podcast, which I find very informative. I'm new to motorhoming and I'm trying to book a 3-week tour of France, Spain and Portugal. I've joined ACSI, camping car and pitch up, but I can't seem to find nicer sites. There are plenty of airs, etc., but I want to stay somewhere nicer," he says. Am I doing something wrong in my searches? Thank you for your consideration. So what should Hugh be doing to find nicer sites on the ACSI database?
You can do two things. You can filter on our website or in our app for the smaller campsites, because we have a lot of filters in it. You can filter on dogs allowed, smaller campsites, swimming pool, all sort of that things. But there's also a website, the smaller pitches. We call it the smaller campsites, and that are only the campsites with 50 places allowed. So that they can also go there, and then they see the nice campsites maybe for this person. Yeah.
So if you're heading to Europe and you're looking for campsites, an ACSI card is an absolute no-brainer if you're going out of peak season. Like me, you'll save your money in 2 nights, maybe 4, as Jeanette says. But make sure if you're coming to the show, grab a book. You're at all the shows, aren't you, here in Birmingham?
We are at all the shows in Birmingham, and you can sell it also easy on campingcard.com. On the website you can buy it digital, that's no problem. Yeah.
Brilliant. Jeanette, thanks for the insight. For Adria fans, this is a much anticipated and much publicised launch. Adria UK have the Adria Super Twin here, an all-road 4x4 Mercedes-Benz chassis that frankly is pretty stunning. This is the prototype. You can't have one of these till at least next summer 2026. The bigger version, the 700, which is of course longer than this 600 behind me, they've already sold 2 of them, and that hasn't even been prototyped. The extras list is actually really short because it has everything on it. And what is remarkable is the price. In the current landscape, this is only 131k. This is Adria at its best. And to be honest, I am quite tempted. Maddie? I'm joined by a familiar face and voice on the Motorhome Matt Podcast. It's the super driver of the show. It's Joe.
Thank you.
Now, Joe, you always try and run me over in this amazing wheelchair of yours.
Every time he says that, he lies. Honestly, good lady driver, no record of injuries and no penalties.
Right, okay, I'll be the judge of that.
Yeah, I'm
now,
sure
Joe,
you will.
in all seriousness, I was on stage a little while ago,
Yes, you
and
were.
you challenged me
I did.
on the adapting of motorhomes. You have an adapted motorhome,
Yep.
a lovely Swift motorhome, which you bought
Yep.
second-hand. It had already been adapted
Yes, it was.
by Coach Built.
Yes, it was.
Now, we both know that Coach Built are one of very few converters in the UK that will adapt a motorhome for a wheelchair user
Agreed.
or someone of any special needs or
Agreed.
limited mobility.
Yep.
And you said, Matt, how do we get an industry to change and start to engage with your community, if I can say that,
You can indeed.
people who've got a special need and want to go away in a motorhome?
Exactly, because there isn't enough out there at the moment, and I want the industry giants to actually start change the way they think. I want from the factory upwards, I want them to start offering as an option a wider door for a start. It's a simple thing, but believe it or not, that's a game changer. Anybody in a manual chair would be able to get in via a ramp or other means. And that leads us on to where we are today.
So we're here on the Kaktus Vans stand, and Paul and Magda have brought a van onto the stand, which is adapted for a little boy who has a wheelchair.
Brilliantly adapted.
And they've converted it. It's a sold van,
Yeah.
but it's demonstrating the fact that you can convert a van to somebody with special needs.
Which is exactly what we need.
How does it make you feel seeing this?
Honestly, I was so made up seeing it because it's a simple thing that they have done that can be done to any van. Even if somebody wants to do a build your own van, they would be able to put this in. It could hoist small self-propelled wheelchairs. Now at the moment we say that because this one's geared up for 100 kilos, but I'm pretty sure Paul and his team will probably come up with more that can actually lift the heavier ones. They just have to remember the height room and obviously the floor clearance. But I reckon this could be the start of something really exciting.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like a massive adaptation. It doesn't look clumsy. It doesn't get in the way. I mean, you will see from the images, it is so good and so easily got round. I don't know why somebody hasn't done this before.
So does it give you hope then for
Yeah,
our
it really
industry?
does. Yeah, it
Right,
really,
okay.
really does. Because this is something that, had we seen it at the beginning, might have taken us down the build your own route
Okay.
rather than getting the conversion. Because there are hoists that can take a chair of my weight. I mean, my chair is no lightweight, as you know, 195 kilos, and that's without my big backside on it. So therefore, it is a big ask to lift a chair of this. You know, you're talking a 300 kilo lift, and we've got a big cassette lift, and so therefore Andy's got a big motorhome. It'd be so much better if we could have had a normal van.
Yeah.
Because you think about not only the fact that we've got this van, but say we wanted to change it, say we wanted to buy another one, the resale on our van would be really hard because it's a fully converted van. Whereas you look at the van that they've done, it looks like a normal van. You can park it in a normal place. You haven't got to think about the height clearance. You haven't got to think about 8.2 metres to get into a space that's probably big enough for a smaller one.
Yeah, well, there you are.
There's so
see.
many things.
So I said to you, you are part of the solution to this challenge where you've got to keep campaigning and encourage
this is
others.
What I want to do. I want to get other people to join in. I want them to start asking the industry giants why they haven't done it, why it is so expensive, because I don't believe it needs to be. And I think this is the start. I think this is a good start, a really good start.
I'm delighted to have with me Paul Adams, the owner of Kaktus. Hello, Paul.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm very good. Now, it's great to have you here. Your product is something else. It is amazing. And you are absolutely making people's days with the fact that you've been prepared to look at adapting a vehicle for a special need. Can you tell me the backstory to this one here on the stand today?
Well, we had a family come to us and wanted a van. And then when we found out they had a 8-year-old disabled child and they really wanted an adapted van, we just couldn't turn it down. So we had to do it. So we've worked with them to create what we've created, and hopefully it's going to give them the freedom that they need.
So you've unlocked that freedom for them as a family, haven't you?
Definitely.
So
it's been really nice to do.
And what does the adaptation include?
It's very basic, to be honest. It's just in a way of the wheelchair can be fixed in. A hoist to get the wheelchair up onto the van. We've had to adapt the electric system because we need to make sure that it never runs out of power for his needs. And really, it's been the main brief was making the van not look adapted.
And well, you've certainly achieved that, and you made the windows bigger as well, I understand, so he can see out when he's sat in the back.
Yeah, one of the things is the lad likes to be able to see out the window, have a good look around when they're travelling. So we made the windows bigger. And just tried to do everything we could to make it as easy as possible for them to enjoy it.
Now, I understand they saw it for the first time last week.
Yeah.
What was their reaction?
Very emotional. Very emotional. It was, it's been a really nice project. It's just been nice to be able to do this for a family.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I can see you're getting emotional just talking about it now.
It
and would you do it again?
We would. Yeah. It's a different challenge for a young child in a wheelchair than it would be for an adult. But we've overcome certain things, and we've been able to keep what we want to do is keep our sort of brand and our layout, but adapt it to be able to work for them. So
well, you've certainly pulled it off with this van, and thank you for doing it, because it is a challenge in our industry having converters and manufacturers that are prepared to undertake it and engage with those needs. I've been shocked, absolutely shocked by the amount of people and the amount of attention that it's had for something that I think of as being actually quite a simple thing to do, and that people don't do it. And it's very strange. Well, congratulations on doing it. I love that you think it's simple, and I love the fact that you're unlocking freedom for families who, for often, just this is unaffordable to have a motorhome that's adapted for their needs, and means that they can get away and partake in this wonderful pastime. Paul, where can people find out more about Kaktus?
On Instagram, which is Kaktus Vans with a K.
Yeah, with 2 Ks.
Yeah, with 2 Ks. Or on our website, which is kaktusvans.co.uk.
So I'm with friend of the podcast and well-known brand Brit Stops. I'm with Tom. It's great to see you. So you're here at the show, and how's it been for you?
It's been a good show. It's pretty much always good here. I mean, we do 2 a year, and it's really nice. I mean, most of the year, I'm just working at my desk, so it's a nice time to come and actually meet our customers and chat with people. and hear all their stories.
And get out. So a lot's changed at Brit Stops in the last year, which we talked about in the past. You've gone entirely digital. The app is amazing. But what's been happening in the background in terms of growth? I mean, some big news, isn't it? Big changes.
Yeah, I mean, we're up to about 28,000 members this year. And last year, 2024, we added nearly 100 non-pubs, so things like farm shops, vineyards, breweries, distilleries, loads of different things. And that's our big push, really, is trying to diversify that network. You know, we get a lot of pubs just automatically, basically. I very rarely have to call a pub and try and get them to join. But all of our vineyards and farm shops, I call every single one, and we have very long conversations about trying to get them to sign up. So, moving more into those industries now, which is really nice.
Well, we love Brit Stops. We use it a lot. And unfortunately, we turn a free stopover into a £120 night out because we tend to go to some really nice pubs, often gastro pubs with a famous chef in the kitchen. Yeah. Have you ever considered a Michelin star restaurant kind of stopover guide?
I would love to do that. That would be very, very cool, yeah.
I'm up for kind of researching them all for you, if you like.
I'm sure you are, Matt.
We call it the Stargazers.
Yeah, okay, I'm in. Let's do it. But don't email me about it.
Yeah, don't all apply at once. I do seriously get asked a lot. Is there a guide to Michelin star restaurants where we can park the motorhome? It is a great idea. Yeah. So there you go. You can have that one.
Thanks.
But you have recently launched something called the Pint Chasers, and you put a huge campaign out to try and recruit people who had a van or access to a van and the ability to go and explore Brit Stops and create a load of social media content for you. What happened?
Well, we got a massive amount of applications.
No surprise.
Yeah, of people who wanted to travel around in their van and drink beer and eat nice food at pubs.
And get paid for it.
Yeah, and get paid for it. It took us probably about a year to decide on our final people and narrow it all down. We're really happy with it, and they've been doing it for about a year now. So
who did you choose?
Lois and Asa, who are here with us today.
They're here, right, guys, come on in, let's meet them. This is Lois and Asa. Come and join us. Thanks, Tom. Hi, guys, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Really, really well.
Are you sober yet?
Of course. How dare you suggest anything otherwise?
So you've spent the last year, is it a year?
It's been since June 2024, so not quite a year.
So nearly a year, basically travelling around in a motorhome, which Brit Stops have supplied for you, and going to pubs, I'm just unpacking this a minute, and basically enjoying the food, enjoying the beer, enjoying the car park, and getting paid for it. And that sounds like the dream, isn't it?
You do make it sound very glamorous. It does certainly have its perks. It is really nice to go in, and people they're always really pleased to see us because they're, oh, Brit Stops, yeah, we love it, and they're so willing to come out with stories about their locations. They say, oh yeah, we had someone from Brit Stops earlier. Oh, they were lovely. Oh, we had the best time. So people are really pleased to see us as one thing, but we're always pleased to be there as well.
So is this a living you're going to continue doing, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. We're hoping that we can keep doing it forever. So far we've done 2 trips, and we're just about to go on the 3rd tomorrow.
Tomorrow? And where are you headed tomorrow?
Straight from here, down from Birmingham, southwest. We're going down through Wales, through the Brecon Beacons, because people really want to hear about what Brit Stops exist in national parks and national landscapes, and finishing up in the Gower. So it's going to be hard work, but I think we can manage.
That's amazing. Now, you guys are social media gurus. That was your kind of work life before, wasn't it? And you're just kind of living the dream, living in a van. I mean, what could be any better?
Well, I won't begin by saying, we could be on a beach somewhere, but this is the next best thing, I suppose.
Yeah, and you say it's hard work. Why is it hard work?
Because we do have to cram an awful lot in. So not only are we going to all these places and experiencing them, we do have to interview people. Yeah, you know how hard that can be.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get the odd weirdo.
Never, not on our podcast.
Not that we get them at Brit Stops, no, never. But we interview characters and we're taking pictures. We're always having to have the creative mindset on of saying, okay, what can we do here? How can we tell this story of this host?
Well, congratulations on winning the gig. But tell me, what is a Brit Stop experience actually like then?
It's really, really good. So one thing that I'm becoming more and more excited about with Brit Stops, we've actually been Brit Stops members since 2022, and we were using Brit Stops just as somewhere to park for the night on the way somewhere, just somewhere to sleep. And actually now we've done this, and like on the trips, why it's one of the reasons why it's so tiring is we're visiting 4 Brit Stops a day, documenting everything. It's a lot of pub dinners, but what I'm realising by meeting these amazing people and going to these amazing places, actually Brit Stops are destinations in themselves. Like, we've been to cider farms that we ended up spending the whole day at. We Brit Stopped right by the coast. It's like that you don't need to go anywhere else. You've got a destination right here for a weekend or a quick overnight getaway. So it's really, really good for that, as well as being a means to an end getting somewhere else on a road trip. It's also a destination in itself, and that's one of the best things about Brit Stops, I think.
Very well summed up, I have to agree, yeah. We use it a lot, as I say, and we use it to find really lovely pubs with great food, and that's the reason we choose it. So, yeah, if you're looking for somewhere alternative to a campsite, a Brit Stop may be the answer. Guys, congratulations again on winning the gig. Enjoy your travels and happy Brit Stopping. Don't forget, get 15% off your insurance premium with Ripe. Just quote Motorhome Matt when you ring them, or click the link in the description. A brilliant free feature at the show is the canoeing lake. If you're under 5, you are allowed on with an adult. If you're over 5 and there's no age limit, you can go on your own. I'm with an adult in a canoe right now. I'm with the lovely Richard Harpham. Richard, hello there, how are you?
It's nice to be called an adult. I'm fine. Generally, people say I'm like a toddler with a credit card or like Peter Pan. So I'll take that all day long.
Now, Richard, you're running this and looking after it. And canoeing, kayaking, paddleboarding, the great outdoors is in your DNA, isn't it?
Yeah, so my wife and I, we are professional adventurers that randomly ended up with us leaving proper jobs behind and ending up running a water sports and adventure business where we look after about 13,000 people a year.
Wow. Now, we've been talking earlier about mental health, physical health and so on. Tell me, the benefits of being in the great outdoors, they do have a positive impact on us, don't they?
Yeah, I think the great outdoors has been there forever in our sort of background, and one of the things at the moment is there's a lot of distractions from digital and TV and multiple channels that almost blindside us from the fact that in the great outdoors, rain or shine, we're going to have the best time. And there's lots of evidence, particularly around young people. Sport England and the Outdoor Industry Association commissioned a massive active people survey that said if you get young people between the ages of 11 and 15 interested in outdoor activities, 75% of them will do it for life.
Wow, so something like this at a show is really important then, for far bigger reasons than keeping the kids entertained for 20 minutes.
I think that's absolutely it. I was really lucky. I joined Viking Kayak Club when I was, yay big. And every family holiday we're camping in Scotland or Wales. I never went overseas or abroad with my parents, and we just learnt to love camping. I was a scout, and I felt at home, and I've always felt at home in the great outdoors.
Yeah, and it's not just families you've been involved with. You've been heavily involved with our British Olympic team, haven't you?
Well, you say British Olympic team. Weirdly, I am the manager of the Ghana ski team. So.
Is it like the Jamaican bobsleigh team?
Yeah, and he's very happy. Kwame Nkrumah Achimpong, also known as the Snow Leopard, was very happy with that, comparison to a team that were trying to do something seriously. Yeah. But here's a guy who learnt indoors in Milton Keynes, didn't start skiing till he was 26 or 27, and had no funding. So to qualify, on the serious side, to qualify for a Winter Olympics is like trying to run a Formula One team. He qualifies. I got involved as, this manager of this incredible story. And there we are at Vancouver with the most covered team of the Olympics.
Wow, that's quite a story. Now, you travelled the entire UK for your book in a motorhome or camper van. Tell us, what was the book about?
So we've just produced a book of 50 paddling adventures, and I like the word adventure because adventure can be big or small. My adventure might be different to your adventure, but that is also in our DNA. So we probably paddled about 70 or 80 different destinations on the sea, on lakes, on lochs, on rivers, from flat calm to white water, and we've, I would say, lovingly crafted this book by paddlers for paddlers to get people out adventuring in Great Britain. It's called Great for a reason.
Absolutely. Well, it's great to catch up with you. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule as you manage all these people on the water. I'm going to get back on terra firma, if that's all right.
That's perfectly fine. But what I will do is hold you to getting you back in a boat some other time.
Now, on the podcast, we talk a lot about Motorhome Matt approved brands, and I'm here with one of them now, and the main man behind the levelling system company Marve. I'm with Will Bark. Now, tell me, I've got one big question that I want to unpack in some detail in the future.
Yeah.
A hydraulic levelling system or an electronic levelling system?
Wow. I mean, I don't even sell an electronic levelling system, but I was involved 10 or 15 years ago with a company that actually brought them to the UK. They're now called Tessa, but I can't remember what they were called in the past. And actually, they were never built as a levelling system. They were actually built as a stabilisation system. Not levelling, stabilisation. So, yeah, hydraulic levelling is just more robust, stronger and better equipped for a bigger vehicle. But electric levelling systems do work. There's a place for them in the market.
Yeah. And would you say they're better fitted to caravans than motorhomes then?
Not so much caravans, but small vans. So if you've got like an Adria Twin or a little day van from Auto Sleeper, brilliant. Electric levelling systems keep your weight down. They're cost effective.
Yeah.
And they do a job, but they're not levelling systems. They're not hydraulic levelling systems. You know, you take one of my systems, Marve obviously said, or you take an Amplo or an M level. You can put snow chains on if you're abroad. You can, you know, we've all been in that field stuck. So you can lift the front wheels up, you can throw some bricks under, you can drive off. You can't do that with an electric levelling system. It just doesn't happen.
Now, you've mentioned some other brands, and you are the man behind them as well. So Marve, you're heavily involved with. Amplo, M Level.
Yeah.
You are Mr. Level.
I just like levelling.
You do.
I just like
can
levelling.
we do a piece together where we unpack all the different types of levelling system?
I'd love to. And you know, I'm quite straight. I do predominantly work with Marve, but I know the brands.
Yeah.
I've been around for a long time. 27 years doing this job. So
a long time. Well, I've got loads of questions, and I know lots of our listeners have too,
well,
about which is best for them. So let's do that in the future.
Yeah, I'm here all week.
Hold you to it. Thanks, buddy.
No problem, mate. Bye.
One of the best things for me about coming to any show is meeting up with old friends. And I'm here with one of those. This is Rob, who is old. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for that.
Now, we call Rob Alan because you are representing Alan Rogers, and it is time for the Alan Rogers Campsite of the Month. So, Rob, where are we off to this month?
It's camping Air Hotel Camping de la Côte d'Argent, which is in the Gironde region. Do you know Gironde?
Southwest France?
Yep, indeed, yeah.
And famous for Medoc wine.
Yeah, it's south of the Gironde estuary.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've never actually spent much time down there. As I said before, we just keep going into Spain in the past. But is it worth checking out then?
Absolutely. The beaches are stunning. It's sort of, you've got, on that coast you've got the Gironde region, and then you've got the Landes region, which is obviously famous for its pine trees. So this campsite is sort of partially shaded, slightly hilly, but all the pictures has got a little bit of pine shading. So yeah, really comfortable. You know, it gets a little bit hotter down there, but those trees give you a little bit of shade.
So is this the campsite you've talked to me about in the past, with a massive investment in its swimming pools?
Yeah, it's the one with the huge pool complex. Yeah. So it's all heated. There's a 20 metre indoor covered pool. It's got, I think, 10 water slides.
Wow.
It's about, I think it's like a kilometre square, this pool. It's huge. It's got jacuzzis, all the water slides, one of those lazy river rapid things. It's absolutely huge.
So a real family campsite then?
Massively perfect for families. It's great because it's near the beach, 300 metres away to the beach. And if you want to take your own vehicle, then of course there are large shady pitches. But if you wanted to meet up with family and friends, you drive down in your leisure vehicle. You can meet up with family and friends, and there is, they've got a whole range of other accommodations. Okay. So you can take extended members of the family along as well. Yeah, and the amount of money they invested in that pool is phenomenal. Yeah. It's a really standout attraction.
Yeah, and is it open all year?
It is not open all year. It opens this year. It opens on the 23rd of May, and it runs until the 15th of September. Right. And that's sort of the average of when they open and close. In the high season, they've got lots of attractions for kids. So there's things for everyone from teenagers, children. All those activities are synonymous with a French campsite. So, yeah.
And price then, where does it sit on the Alan Rogers price matrix?
Well, for this year, we're ditching the complex price matrix.
No, we're not. It was so brilliantly confusing.
I know, absolutely. So their starting price is €34 per pitch, and that is for including 2 persons.
That's very reasonable.
Yeah,
and that includes all the use of the pools, everything, all the facilities.
Absolutely, 100%.
Right. When are we going?
I know, right? It's I'm going this summer.
Are you really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got room in the van?
Yeah, probably not for you.
To find out more about all of Alan Rogers' campsites, just head to mhmp.info/Alan Rogers. I've ventured onto the Bees Leisure Stand and I'm with the King Pink Bee, Mr. Neil Bolton. Now, we first met back in 2007 and you were the UK sales manager for Adria at the time.
I was also a lot slimmer, less grey.
Well, we both were, mate, let's be fair. It was a long time ago.
Very long time
Now, we called you the Bulldog because you probably put us through our paces with our pitch to become Adria dealers when we were launching our dealership.
I did, but fair play to you. You listened on everything that was said, you took it on board, and there you were. You set yourselves up.
We did, and we became an award-winning Adria dealer. That was true. And I love the fact that years later, you took our pitch and used it for yourself to launch Bees Leisure.
It was a good template.
Love that. Anyway, it's good to see you, Neil. Now, you're here at the show, very excited to see you launching a Caravan and a motorhome brand.
Correct.
Tell us more.
Correct. Yep, so we are Kaktus Vans and tab dealers. Fantastic product for the industry. Very good product for somebody that's coming into caravaning. I mean, a quick example, you've got a lovely German-built caravan, German build quality, fixed bed, short, lightweight, narrow, brand new with a 10-year warranty, and it's a little over £20,000.
That's amazing.
I mean, you struggle to buy used caravans at that kind of money. You know, you've got a 10-year warranty of a product that's built to last. The public are all over it. It's got such a good response. Everybody is loving the product. They can't pick a fault with it. It's exciting. It's really exciting.
And the price is the most... I mean, the build quality is phenomenal too. The finish is amazing too.
Yeah, the finish is good. The layout is very good, but these are Germans.
Yeah.
We all know about German build quality. You know, it's a cliche sentence, but it does what it says on the tin.
Yeah. Now tell me a bit about Aura as well, because this is a new brand that you're launching too.
So this is completely hot off the press. I mean, this was finished and built this weekend. So it's the first ever viewing in the UK. We've got the exclusive on it. Panel van, built in Nottinghamshire. Again, the quality, the finish, but it can be bespoke. You know, there's umpteen colours choices of the wood, the furniture, the fittings, the soft furnishings. You can even change the layout inside to suit the customer. So, Mr. Customer, you don't like all the drawers in the kitchen? Not a problem. We'll put you a nice big door in. And people are liking that. You know, you're spending a lot of money. You want the right vehicle, and it's very hard in a small box to get the right vehicle.
But what's interesting on the money, this is a panel van conversion we're looking at here. It's British built, it's beautifully appointed inside, and it's under 80k. It's 77,777.
Yeah, it is. And you'd think with that, okay, what have I got to add on? How do I make it a proper panel van? It's going to be up into the 80s and 90s. Well, 77,777 gets you things like 200 watt solar, Avtex Wi-Fi, underslung gas tanks. You know, the kit is phenomenal.
And British built, and you're the first dealer in the UK.
We are indeed, yes, and people are all over it.
Well, that is really encouraging, Neil, and good for you. We're going to catch up with Mike, the founder of Aura, in a second, but just tell me, how has the show been for you, and how is the landscape as a dealership for you?
Yeah, the show, surprisingly, is going very well. I mean, I know a lot of people are saying that the caravan industry is dipping a bit at the moment. We're not seeing that. We're really not seeing that. The attendance has been good, but more importantly, the quality of the customer is good. This is not people that are just coming in to walk around the halls. They're interested. If they're not in caravanning, they want to know what it's about. How do they get into it? What is it going to cost them? You know, and I think for us, we're very fortunate with brand new caravans with a price point starting at £16,500. It's affordable to come into. Not everybody's going to walk in here and jump straight into a £40,000-50,000 vehicle. They need a start point. But the interest is there, and as a gut feeling, you know, over 30 years in the industry, as a gut feeling right now, I think we're going back in the right direction, and I think the industry is going to have a really good year.
Good for you. Well, I hope so. How are the sales for you this week?
Yeah, we are above our targets.
Amazing.
Very, very pleased.
Yeah. Well, have a great rest of the week now. It's great to catch up with you.
You too, mate.
I'm joined by one of the longest serving members of the motorhome and caravan industry. Mike Lake has been around forever. How are you, Mike?
Matt, I'm very well. You're right, I've been around forever. In fact, the first caravans I sold, we had to sell a horse to tow them with at the same time. So, yeah, it has been a long time.
How many years have you actually been in this industry?
In all seriousness, it's only 34 years.
Right.
Seems like a long time, but my first show here at the NEC was 34 years ago.
And you've actually retired more than once, and you're back.
Oh, you can't retire from this business.
So last June, you retired from Kaktus, where you'd been for 10 years?
10 years, yeah, 10 years with Kaktus Tablet. Super people, lovely product, highly recommended, thoroughly enjoyed working with them. But the sheer size of the machine, eventually, it's just too much for one man. You know, they've put a team in now of extra people in the UK, which would be good for consumers. So yeah, it's definitely not a one-man job.
So you went home from work and announced to your wife, I've retired, that's it, I'm here. What happened?
Well, she was quite shocked. And she was very, very kind. She actually let me sit there in my pyjamas till 12 o'clock for about 2 weeks and then said, now that's enough. Now it's time to go back out into the real world and do something positive.
So rather than just, get a paper round or drive an Amazon van, you decided to launch a motorhome brand.
Well, yeah, why not? Doesn't everybody want to do that? I mean, it was a long, long time ago when I was at school and I told the careers officer I want to design caravans. And
what did they say?
He told me I was mad.
Yeah.
He gave me a leaflet about becoming a radio operator on a Shell oil tanker instead because I was useless at maths.
Okay.
So there we go.
But it's here. So Aura has been launched. Bees Leisure are the first dealer here in the UK.
They are indeed. We're going to build somewhere between 60 and 100 units a year. So we're not going to have an extensive dealer network. We will have an extensive after-sales network. We're going to use a network of skilled engineers nationally to look after customers. But retailer-wise, probably we'll have a network of 3 eventually. But to start with, early days, you need to work with a dedicated crew. Couldn't have had a better choice than Neil and his boys. Known them for a long time.
Well, I've been talking to Neil now. I mean, we've known each other a long time as well. And he was telling me how the product can be tailored and you can customise it to a customer's exact requirements.
One of the big frustrations when you work with one of the large brands is customers will come to you at a show with a very, very reasonable, and the phrase is, couldn't you just?
Yeah.
And the answer is always, no, we couldn't. Well, of course, now it's changed because the answer is, yes, we can. A bit like Bob the Builder, and slightly more professional. But yeah, if the customer doesn't like the colour of the woodwork, if it's too contemporary, we can build it with something traditional. We can change the cupboard doors, we can change the woodwork, we can change the upholstery, we can even wrap the entire outside. Our dear friends at Stellantis now only produce these in white and 50 shades of grey.
Yeah.
So we can have this in any colour you like. If you want a big photograph of your grandchildren on the side, Matt, if you've always dreamed of driving the Scooby bus, we can do it for you.
Love that. Maybe I'll do the Scooby bus rather than the pictures of the grandkids, although I love them dearly. But what's the lead time to get one?
Lead time currently, if somebody rushes up today and says to Neil, we must have one, we would be looking at early June delivery.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not too bad at all.
Oh, no, fairly quick.
Yeah. Well, good luck, Mike. It's great to have you back.
Thank you ever so much. I was hardly away for a second. It's good to see you.
Now, I'm joined by someone who could best be described as the show's best impression of a hard-boiled egg. It's Jeff from Southwest Motorhomes. How are you?
Fine, Matt, and yourself?
I'm very well, thanks. So tell me, how has the show been for you? The landscape's been challenging the last few years. How's it been so far this week?
So this is the first time Southwest Motorhomes have done the February show, and it's been quite successful for us. We've put away several vans already for Malibu. We're only on the Malibu stand. And we're also working forwards to building our client database and working with bringing more people across to us. But talking about the changing landscape, we're sort of seeing more non-seasonal trade bases now.
So what do you mean, trade bases?
So the traditional motorhomes we would normally see selling Easter onwards, sort of summer season, etc. Okay. We had a very successful winter this year. And we think part of that is coming from where customers are more taking their pension lump sums, change of lifestyle, and the motorhome purchase is coming when the money comes as opposed to when the season starts.
So what's interesting then on that point, I happen to know that Sarah, your esteemed owner, told you were going to open between Christmas and New Year in 2024, and you did, and you made sales.
Yeah, we made sales. A lot of our competitors were closed, and we had people come in to see us, and it was a very successful period for us. Not the big numbers, but for the first time we've ever opened during that period. We're also moving towards a longer trading pattern during the week as well.
Yeah. So is that why you're at this show in February? Because normally you come to the October show, you do some of the outdoor shows through the year. Am I right in saying this is your first February show?
It is definitely the first February show. As you know, you've met us at October at the NEC, and also at Shepton Mallet, etc., which we support heavily and have done for many years. But for us, it's about engaging more wider with our client base, getting our name out there a little bit more over a longer period of time.
Now, on the stand, you've only got 2025 models brought here by Malibu.
That's correct.
I know you've got 2024 models still in stock, and you're not alone. Most of the Malibu and Cartago dealership or dealership network still has 24 stock in stock. Are there big deals to be had?
We've got certain things we can do during the show this week, which we would never ever be able to do unless we were part of this show. So come and see us. We can put something together for you based on what we've got around us.
So it's not necessarily a case of come to a show and buy. Come to a show and have a really good look, and then go and visit your local dealer and do a deal there. Is that what you're saying?
To a certain extent, but the offers that we've got available finish on Sunday.
So the show offers are dead in the water on Sunday, on 2025 stock.
2025 stock as well. Yeah.
But there are still deals around on 2024.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Southwest Motorhomes, where can people find out more about you?
So www.southwestmotorhomes.co.uk, and we're right at the end of the A303 at Ilminster, just before you hit the Blackdown Hills.
Next to Costa and McDonald's.
Exactly.
So that's a wrap on the Caravan Camping and Motorhome Show 2025 here at the NEC, and what a great success it's been. It's a show that caters for all ages. There is something for everyone. Great to see people visiting it for the first time. Great to see businesses exhibiting at it for the first time. But stay tuned. We've got more content to come from the show. New innovations and new product launches. In the meantime, it's back to the studio. How was that, Tom? Cool. Right, let's go.
Pretty good.
It's the Motorhome Matt Podcast. I'm Keith Gooden.
And I'm Motorhome Matt.
It's brought to you with thatleisureshop.com and sponsored by Ripe. Time now for our Q&A, our questions and answers, where you ask the questions and Matt Sims, the Motorhome Matt, he answers them. And if he doesn't know, he asks somebody who does. First of all, Stephen Bell is in Manchester.
Hi Motorhome Matt, my name's Stephen Bell from Manchester. I've just got a question for you. I've got an Auto Trail Chieftain tag axle. Would it be worthwhile putting some Rogue alloys on it and BF Goodrich K2's all-terrain tyres on it, just for general wear and tear? And would there be a lot of road noise, or for little tracks that you go on, or when you're going on grass? Is it worth spending the money and putting them on it? Thank you, Motorhome Matt.
There you go, Motorhome Matt. What do you reckon?
I recorded that in Manchester with Steve. Steve, it was great to meet you and your wife, and thank you for binge consuming the podcast while you drive your HGV up and down the country. BF Goodrich tyres, a lot of people say they're really noisy. I must admit, I've had a motorhome with them on, and they're not. They're invaluable on grass because they don't wheel spin like a normal road tyre would. And if you put BF Goodriches on them and the Rogue alloys, you'll be the most bling Auto Trail Chieftain in the country. So it's a certain look, and if that's your thing, then go for it. And the tyres, yes, more expensive probably, but they are certainly useful to have.
Peter Hadley's in Hereford. He's very cheeky. He's got two questions. First of all, do you need to be a homeowner to gain Black Horse finance for purchasing a large brand camper van? Our background is we just sold our house, have £500,000 plus in the bank, and we're waiting to buy our ideal home. Being mortgage free, we're currently renting. We're due to pick up a brand new camper van scheduled in early 2025 on pre-approved finance, and we will have to reapply at the point of imminent delivery. Some say being renters will cause an issue with finance and, more importantly, the interest rate that they have to pay. What do you think?
So, no, you definitely don't have to be a homeowner to get finance. It's straightforward. There are lots of criteria that a finance company are going to look at. So whether you're a Tier 1 lend or what's called a Tier 2 lend. So they look at previous credit history. How long have you lived at previous addresses? Have you defaulted on any repayments? They're not going to take any interest in the fact you've got £500,000 in the bank. And in fact, they might say, if you've got £500,000 in the bank, why do you need to take finance? Well, of course, you're using that money to buy a house. So the answer is no. If you find that Black Horse are struggling to afford you finance, then go and talk to someone like Creative Funding Solutions. Motorhome.finance is their website. They're a broker and they have access to a whole panel of lenders who are used to lending to people of all different types of criteria. So definitely worth talking to them.
And it brings us back to, doesn't it, an argument which has been rumbling on for years in the mortgage market, which is renters' good payment record of their rent isn't taken into account by mortgage lenders when they apply for mortgages, and I suppose this could drip over, couldn't it, into general financing, because if a renter is paying a considerable amount of money with no breaks, no defaults, then surely that's of use to people who lend money.
I guess it depends if the rent is recorded on your credit history. So, if your landlord is going to report you for non-payment of rent and you get a bad credit record for it, then that's going to impact your ability to borrow. But
they're not giving you credit when you do pay.
No, that's right, and many landlords, private landlords, have no ability to report you. So it's always worth taking a credit card and put some money on it and pay it off every month and build up your credit score. There's lots of best practices on how to build up a credit score. Not having any borrowed credit is probably the worst thing you can do in terms of getting a good credit score, because a lender wants to see that you've borrowed and you can repay. So, that's a great practice, is to do that. So have a credit card and use it, even if it's only a small amount, and clear it down every month and show that you've got a reliability of repaying finance.
Yeah, do your shopping on it. Put your big shop on it.
Yeah.
Now, second question from Peter Hadley in Hereford. I told you he was cheeky. If you add a diesel heater to a new van on finance, does it affect manufacturers' warranties, insurances, and do you need to let the finance company know that you've done this alteration?
Ooh. That's going to be down to the terms of the lender and the insurer. I know loads of people that have fitted a diesel heater, and I bet they haven't told their insurance company. There's probably no harm in telling them at all, because it is a modification, and actually might be worth telling, because you might have increased the value of the vehicle as a result of doing it. So you might want to up the value of the asset. In terms of finance company, I don't think they're going to take any interest, but there's no harm, if you're concerned, that any modification you've done to the vehicle, to let them know. If you change the number plate, put a private plate on it, they're going to get an alert from the DVLA. They'll know probably before you. But any other modification, if you're unsure, just tell them.
Rob's in Bristol. He says, "Hi, Matt. I've been looking for somewhere to get my camper van floor templated and carpets made up. I live in the Bristol area, but I'm not having any success." That's what templating is.
Yeah.
Do you have anywhere that you could recommend?
You can do this yourself, Rob. I've done it many times. If you haven't got the old carpets to cut around, then get a load of cardboard, tape it all together, lay it down in the floor and cut it very carefully, and then take that to your carpet store and they will make a carpet for you. And you want to make sure that they hem all around the edge so the hem doesn't stick out as well, and then it should, if you've done a great job, lay down perfectly. My advice would be leave at least a centimetre gap between the wall and the edge of the carpet so there is room for it to move around. You can fix it down with double-sided tape, or even the little poppers, the male and female popper. Fix those to the carpet, fix them to the floor and popper them down.
Yeah, and if you do use different bits of cardboard, make sure you number them and also do a little map on a separate piece of paper.
I would get a load of parcel tape or gaffer tape and fix them all together, so you end up with one big piece of cardboard or multiple pieces based on the motorhome floor.
You've clearly never done DIY with me. Okay, how do people get in touch?
We'd love it if you did. Just head to mhmp.info/Ask Matt. If you've got a question, please ask it, because I guarantee hundreds, if not thousands of people may have the same question. Click the orange button and record it. Tell us where in the world you are, or you can fill in the form and we'll read it for you.
And if you're looking for trusted brands and services, then make sure you visit the Motorhome Matt approved directory. It's at mhmp.info. You get it, Motorhome Matt Podcast? mhmp.info/approve.
And if you're watching on YouTube, please click subscribe and the little bell, brought to you by arabasecreative.co.uk.